Welcome to World News by Halandzovskyi. If you value calm, clear, and fact-based reporting on global developments, please subscribe, leave a comment, and share your perspective. Today we bring you an important update from Iran as protests persist and Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei speaks out, blaming external forces and asserting state authority. Across cities in Iran, including Tehran, Shiraz, and Mashhad, citizens have continued to take to the streets, not in ritualized marches, but in expressions of deep economic frustration and political discontent. These protests differ from past demonstrations not just in size, but in motivation. People are fed up with sky-high inflation, a plunging currency, joblessness, and rising costs of food and energy. For many families, everyday survival has become a struggle. Workers, teachers, students, retirees, people from multiple walks of life have raised their voices, calling for tangible improvement in living conditions and greater accountability from those in power. The demands initially focused on economic relief, wage increases, price controls, protection of pensions, and more stable currency values. Yet, as protests spread and frustration deepened, some demonstrators began to call for broader political reforms and greater transparency in governance. They are challenging the old order, demanding change that goes beyond short-term fixes. Authorities in some areas have responded with force, including arrests and restrictions on movement. Internet blackouts and social media slowdowns have been used to control the spread of information. These measures reveal a government that remains rigid in its approach to dissent, even as people increasingly connect their personal hardship with systemic political issues. In the midst of this unrest, Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei has addressed the nation. In his remarks, he characterized the protests not primarily as domestic grievances, but as the product of foreign interference and hostile intelligence services trying to destabilize Iran. Khamenei reiterated that national security is paramount and that the government will maintain its authority. He vowed to uphold the existing political order and warned that those who exploit economic frustration for political ends will be confronted. This language echoes past responses, framing internal dissent as externally inspired, a tactic that allows the leadership to justify a hard line while dismissing legitimate domestic concerns. By characterizing protests as influenced by outside actors, the government aims to rally nationalist sentiment and discredit demonstrators as agents of foreign agendas. Yet many analysts note that this message may fail to resonate with ordinary Iranians facing immediate economic hardship they see as rooted in internal policy failures rather than distant conspiracies. The broader implications of this moment are significant. First, the risk of escalation. Prolonged unrest paired with heavy-handed government responses can deepen divisions within society. When people feel unheard and unsafe, demonstrations may grow more determined, and tensions can turn into cycles of sharp confrontation. Second, the impact on civil freedoms. Internet restrictions, surveillance, and public order laws that curb assembly and speech raise serious human rights concerns. International organizations emphasize that peaceful protest and freedom of expression are fundamental rights, and suppressing them often intensifies popular resentment. Third, regional stability. Iran remains a pivotal player in the Middle East. Domestic instability has a way of reverberating across borders, affecting economies, alliances, and security dynamics. Neighboring states and global powers alike are monitoring events with concern, wary of spillover effects or shifts in Iran's foreign policy posture. Fourth, economic pressure and social stress. Even if protests are quelled, the underlying economic crisis remains unresolved. Persistent inflation, currency weakness, and unemployment will continue to feed dissatisfaction unless structural reforms and economic relief are delivered. This is a long-term challenge, not a short-term disturbance. For now, Iranians are confronting a complex reality. They demand better livelihoods and accountability, while the leadership seeks to reinforce its authority and dismiss the unrest as foreign-driven disruption. The interplay between these forces will shape Iran's political landscape and social cohesion in the months ahead. Thank you for watching this report on World News by Halandzovskyi. If you found this explanation clear and informative, please subscribe, leave a comment, and share your perspective. Independent reporting helps us understand how economic hardship and political power interact in shaping people's lives. Stay informed and see you in the next update.